Yeah, hi Colin. I will call you from my computer.
Okay,
Yeah,
please. They're
yeah,
walking over. Can you film them, please?
yeah, yeah. Sure, sure. I will capture that. Hi Colin.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Okay, great. So is this how I talk?
you. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
And your video is will be displayed on another computer.
Yeah, I can see the video. Are you able to pan to look at my family walking towards there, or
You want to see on the WhatsApp because yeah, I can see the family. I will shift it now.
what's a camera? Can't you just pan towards them so I can see them?
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
You need to put him out. I don't want to slip at the last moment.
No, no, 100%.
Hi, Colin. Thanks for.
Hi, where are you?
Hi. Hi, I'm here. I'm here. You see us, Haley and.
Good.
Hi.
Put that somewhere else, Jerry.
Yeah. Yeah, there's Uncle Colin.
Do you want something, Bob? Or
Huh?
you want this?
Yeah.
All right.
It won't
So
go
just
on.
remember you'll have a delay,
Yeah.
about 10, 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. We'll
Yeah.
make sure we know.
Wonderful. Would you like me to hand out the cards to everyone, or would you like to save them?
Barb,
What?
he's asking you a question.
Would you like me to hand out the cards to everyone, or would you like to save
Sure.
them?
Go.
Okay.
This is now he's up taller now. Before he was under there.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Good morning, Colin. Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming. Thanks to our team here for helping us out with this.
So, my name's Morgan. I know I haven't been introduced to you, but today this is your time. You're able to say some words about him. If you would just like New Zealand to do some speaking, that would be great. And I will hand it over to you. Absolutely.
Yeah, if I can just go out of the way, let me see the video monitor. Thank you.
Perfect.
Good day. We had quite a nice day here in Vancouver. I just heard the crows calling, which always reminded me of Vancouver and Kerry. It's kind of funny.
Kerry, could you stay on the other side so everyone else can hear you? Carry on the other, you can still hear you. Carry on that side.
Yeah.
Yes, and just there. Because otherwise no one's going to hear.
Yeah.
And come forward.
Come on,
forward.
everybody. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Cherry.
Okay,
Thank you, Cherry.
all ready to go. So, to begin, we all loved Kerry dearly. He was a husband, a father, stepfather, grandfather, an uncle, a cousin, brother, and a friend to all of us. Bill, Kerry, and I grew up on a farm in the 50s and 60s. We attended Crescent School together, getting a ride in the car, or the tractor, or on horseback, pedaling our bikes, or walking. One day in grade 1, Kerry would get a red star for his printing, whereas I would come way behind and get a blue star. Kerry was good at playing basketball or baseball, and he did well in the annual Saltcoats field day. He also curled in the Hilltop School bonspiel. He came in from recess one day after a fall from playing in the schoolyard. We put snow on the injury and phoned Mum and Dad. They picked him up and took him to Yorkton Hospital. We met him back at home wearing a big white cast on his right arm. A favorite activity on the farm was climbing the spruce trees that surrounded our yard. One day, he got stuck up a tree, so I called Mum to get him down, but Mum could barely get up and down the tree herself. As he got older, he took to climbing the ladder attached to the roof of our big hip roof barn. From there, one was on top of the world with a panoramic view of the surrounding land. We loved swinging on the ropes and slings that lifted the hay into the loft of our hay barn. This was like being a trapeze artist. We invented various tricks for entertainment, and if we fell, the hay was below us for a soft landing. Our school friends to this day still remember the fun we had playing in the loft. Our dad would hook our toboggan behind the horse-drawn hay rack, and we would ride behind as he went to the haystack to gather feed and bedding for the cows. The toboggan ride was a delight on a wintry day. Dad was a lineman for the Saltcoats District Telephone Company. After a bad storm, our phone lines would go out, so we would jump in the car and search for crossed telephone wires. Dad would put on his climbers, go up the pole, and fix the lines. Our neighbors were always glad to have their phones back in service. The farm had an overgrown rhubarb patch, and since we were not fond of eating it, one July 1st, or Canada Day, we loaded our little red wagon with paper bags stuffed with rhubarb. We wheeled the wagon down the driveway to sell the rhubarb to customers on the way to the annual Saltcoats Sports Day.
Yes.
We sat there waiting, but only one car stopped, and that was by the end of our day. We earned 25 cents that day. Kerry had the good fortune to see his horse have a baby colt. As a teenager, he would hunt deer and trap muskrats from Crescent Lake. He sold the hides for pocket money. We kept cows and sheep and 2 pigs on the farm, and Kerry would drive around, bringing the cows in for milking and move the sheep to new pastures. Both Kerry and Bill stripped a 1949 Dodge down to the chassis or floorboards and rode around the farm like this, as well as taking it out for a spin on the main road. In winter, he took on the dangerous activity of skiing in the ditch with the upturned hood of the 49 Dodge, being pulled slowly by a car up on the road. My brothers loved driving up and down Broadway for something to do. Kerry's first car was a 1964 Chevy. Later in life, he took memorable trips with his family on the Rocky Mountaineer to Whistler and back, and a flight to Halifax and Cape Breton Island. Kerry was always very generous with his time. he very kindly took time off from work to tour us around the sights of Vancouver and Victoria. What a great brother. When we needed new tires or steel wheels for our cars, he was adamant that we purchase the best tires for the right seasonal attributes for our island location. He helped thousands of people in this way. These are just a few adventures in Kerry's life.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry.
Jerry?
I think Colin's going to speak next.
Very nice.
Can you hear us? Yeah. We're out there.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Are you saying anything, Colin?
No, he's just going to...
Yeah,
Oh.
I can hear you all.
He's gonna
It'd
be on
amazing
tape.
if somebody
Oh, tape.
told the guy to stop feedback.
I thought I'd take a moment to share a few things I learned from my dad. Work ethic is definitely one that might be surprising. Dad might have mentioned once or twice about not loving his job that he had for decades. Whether that's entirely true or not is up for debate, as he did put a little bit of a show about his dislike for work sometimes. I'm not sure how much of that was real or not. However, his true feelings for work when we were younger, he did get up every single day and did, knowing it was what he had to do to put a roof over our heads and to put food on the table. He was consistent, and I admire my dad for having that work ethic. It really provided a blueprint for me to just kind of be the person who just got things done, regardless of how hard it was at any given time. He showed that you just need to do what you need to do to make ends meet, to make things work, to make things happen. What Dad did to raise us early on in our lives during a very difficult time was something that I will always admire about him. He wasn't perfect, but he just got on with it, to be honest. He taught me that work ethic by not by showing me, but unknowingly by leading by example. Because he was a good example of toughing it out, because it's what he had to do. So I learned that from my dad, and I'm thankful for that. Thanks, Dad. So another thing that Dad inadvertently taught me was that sometimes you don't need to say a lot to show that you care. It's no secret to anyone in this family that Dad wasn't the chattiest at the best of times, even when you were literally seeking his support or opinion. I learned to understand Dad and how he was indeed providing support and advice with his minimalist responses, often forcing you into choosing your own path to solve problems. I know he was intently listening to me because Dad sometimes needed time to process what you were asking before coming back with a solution, oftentimes days later. I learned to never expect a back and forth sort of chat. Sometimes yes, but often not really. So when I gave the time for silence to occur, he'd often surprise me with a response to a complex situation. Truth is, we often sat in silence or just hung out, and that was okay because I know that was just our way. That's how Dad and I did it, and we enjoyed each other's company in that silent sort of way often. But he did care. He cared so much about his kids, and wasn't always the best at expressing it. But I did know that I was loved and had his support for my entire life, and I'm thankful for that. So that's something I also learned from Dad, was that you don't need to say a lot sometimes to show that you care. You can sit there in some sort of silence, and being there is sometimes all that you need. But he was always there for me, no matter what. He literally always picked up the phone. He never left me hanging or always called back as soon as he could. Always. My car would literally break down in the middle of nowhere, and it did happen a few times in my life. And Dad would be there to help me out. or be the one to call the tow truck, because everything to do with cars or your vehicle, sometimes you just always went to Dad as the default, because you wanted to involve him, or you wanted to just have him help you out, because cars was his thing. He was just reliable in that way, and always willing to help out in any way that he could. But, you know, to put it bluntly, Dad was a round peg, but wasn't really willing to be put into the square hole of life, because he was an individual, like we all are. He was an individual. He had his own quirks, and now I get to miss and remember him with love and affection every day, and miss those quirks and ways that he is, and yeah, I'll miss all those things, and I'll love him for the way he was, and I'll remember him for the way he was, for forever, and often. So, you know, in Dad's final days and hours, you know, at his bedside where we were, you know, saying our goodbyes, I did get the chance to remind him that he had done a great job of raising us and of being a dad that I loved and respected. I shared with him a lifetime of memories, you know, while sitting by his side, making jokes with the surrounding family like we do, you know, making fun of my brother dyeing his hair, which is probably not true, and him making fun of my premature grayness, being the younger brother, you know, and thinking that, oh, Dad would just think that's just the most annoying thing ever, and, you know, you kids, you stupid kids, you know, in the way that Dad did, and carrying on is the way we do, and Dad kind of snarkily saying something about, you kids, don't doing that, you know. I'm 100% sure that Dad will miss those times as much as we will, you know, because, you know, we all had a way about being around Dad, and I'll miss those times a lot, you know. I let my dad know that his life was successful. It was a very successful one, and that he'd done a great job in his own way of making me the man I am today. You know, he raised us, and so I wouldn't be who I am if he wasn't the way he was, you know. So, and I'm okay with who I am. So that means I'm okay with what my dad did to raise me.
Colin, thank thank you, Colin. I knew you were going to say a few things, but you hit that harder, and it was one of the most incredible summaries of Dad I've ever heard. Thank you for that. As I was going on to say, much more briefly, Dad, Colin summed it up very well. You gave us all we needed to launch successfully into our lives, and I can't thank you enough, as Colin's just said. Dad, I know I've said all I need to you, and you have heard every word. I love you, Dad. I want to say to my family, Haley, Davis, and Lila, that Kerry, Grandpa Kerry, loved you very much. He was exceptionally proud of all of you. Dad was a man of few words, but he listened intently to everything I ever said about you all. To use our family term, you filled his bucket. Dad's life was fuller having you a part of it. Thank you.
Thanks, Trevor. We got a little note from from Kerry's niece Shelley in Saskatchewan, and I'm going to read that, and then I'll conclude. And I'm speaking as she wrote it. Well, I always loved it when Uncle Kerry and Auntie Barb would visit, of course. It gave me great pleasure to talk about my grandpa Dave, or Davis, with both my dad and my Uncle Kerry. I could always see the happiness in them both when we would talk about old memories. I remember in 2000 when my entire family flew to BC for a visit. I sat in the kitchen one morning and watched my Uncle Kerry do his morning routine. I couldn't believe how much my Uncle Kerry and my dad were. I watched for some time and then replied, "Holy, you and my dad should be the twins." Well, it's true. The similarities in characteristics were unbelievable. They were so much alike. I remember my last trip out there. I took the SkyTrain to Uncle Kerry's and Auntie Barb's for a visit for the day. When it was time to go home, I told him I was taking the SkyTrain back to Trevor's place. Uncle Kerry said, "Hell you are. We're taking you back." He jumped in the car and we went back to Trevor's. After my dad passed, it gave me great comfort to talk with Uncle Kerry. "I will miss you, Uncle. But I know you and my dad are my new angels. Love you, Shelley." In conclusion, when you see a red sky at sunset or in the morning, think of Al Kerry, as you'd like to recite the following verse. "Red sky in the morning, sailors take warning. Red sky at night, sailors delight." Kerry loved us and we loved him. Kerry will be fondly remembered by all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Shelley. Thank you.
Very nice.
I think we're finished.
Okay.
Yep.
So I think
That was lovely.
thank you very much.
So, if everyone's had a few words, you can actually place the urn now if someone would like.
Yes.
Would you like to take the honors again?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I want to see how deep the pit is first.
All right. All right.
Then I'll just tell you.
Yes. Yeah.
Should that help?
Yes. So it helps with not dropping it.
I'll even take a photo. Hang on. You took lots of photos, Trevor, didn't you?
I can take a few pictures here.
Well, that's not that bad.
No.
Just want to get the carpet right on the corner there, so
So you can kneel on something a little softer.
Well, I want to kneel on the corner so I don't have to. Oh yes. I
Oh.
was worried I was going to fall in.
No. Not quite that big.
I don't want to go with Kerry so soon. So yes, I will take it. And is the bag staying too?
Yes.
You can lower the bag in or drop the urn in. What do you prefer?
Would you like the bag? Would you like the bag to stay?
It's you that's putting it in. I like the bag myself.
Okay, then I will take it out of the bag. Lower it.
Oh,
No,
you mean
no.
With the bag.
Oh, you
With the bag, yeah.
Oh, I thought you said you liked the bag.
Oh, I do like the bag.
I'm just going to put it down.
Oh, I can hold it for you while you get down there. Absolutely.
Actually, I'm going to get on this side because so everyone can see better. Just get to the corner. Right,
Right, perfect. And if you want to use the string to help you lower it, it's a
Oh.
little easier.
definitely. Well, Kerry, until we see you again.
Thank
That
you,
wasn't
Michael.
that bad.
Goodbye, Dad. Rest well.
I have some memorial sand if anyone would like to take a bench or a handful and put some in.
That's something good to do. All right, Colin, this is for us.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this
I
concludes.
heard, I heard you. I don't know if it's the White Rock or anything that's saying.
Yes, we did. We
Thanks,
put some-
Colin.
Yes. That was it.
That concludes our service today here at Valley View. It's never going to be the same without Kerry, but love each other a little bit more, take care of each other, and on behalf of myself, Valley View, Stephen, we'd like to offer our deepest condolences.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Feel free to stay as long or as little as you like, and I'll stay with Kerry until the next becomes.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I'm guessing we'll put the flowers in front. Or did you guys want to take them home?
No, I don't want. Do you want to take them home, Cherry,
Are we leaving with Kerry?
or set them here?
Yeah. Leaving with Kerry.
Yeah.
Perfect. We take care of that for you.
Alrighty. So yeah, me and Morgan will hang around, and then when you all leave, we'll call the grounds crew.
Okay.
Your grandfather's going to have us down this page.
All right, Dad, we'll be back. We'll be back to visit.
Yes.
Thank you,
care.
Colin.
Love you, Dad.
Thanks, Colin.
Thank you for arranging this, everybody. Thank you. And thanks to everybody who will be watching this. Thank you for being here for Kerry today. And we're in different places, different time zones, and watch as you will. And thank you. Your presence was felt as we were here. Thank you. Goodbye, Colin.
Bye. Love you all.
Okay.
You too.
All right. Thank you. All right.
Grab the photo and we should leave.
Oh, yeah?
We'll give you the cards too.
Okay, super. Thank you, jeez. Can you hold the cards for Daddy? And I'll hold the picture. Okay.
Look after them.
All right.
That was-